Decentralized Pictures Talent Cast. I am your host, Matt, and today we are awarding the Horror Filmmaking Initiative, created by two horror legends in studio today, Eduardo Sanchez and Jed Shepard. We're going to be awarding two awards valued at $25,000 to produce their short horror film. Also receiving mentoring from Jed, Eduardo, and Roman Coppola. One of the recipients will be female, and the evaluation criteria for their submissions was based on scariness, originality, creativity, and characters. Another indicator of how DCP continues to grow and scale, we had 82 submissions for this award. So really great competition there, some high quality projects. And of those projects, 7,290 ratings were provided.
Wow.
So that's a lot of reviews, a
we
lot of participation.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, because, the competition was, we had a hard time, finding the best too. There was a lot of great, I wish we could have, given 10 awards out. So.
Yeah.
Right. So thanks again to everybody who jumped on the platform, even if you're not a filmmaker and you're just a horror fan, that you went out there and made your voice heard, created that kind of top 10 list from which Eduardo and Jed selected from. Eduardo, I love your just a simple, succinct bio on Blue Sky and X, filmmaker and Star Wars collector. I love that. Jed, writer, producer, host, dash cam. And then I think the thing that really unifies these guys that I love is right here. Yeah. So for anybody who may not know what I just threw up on screen, this is a tiny little film that pretty much blew up the box office industry in 1999 called The Blair Witch Project. Jed created a Blair Witch documentary about it, and Eduardo was the co-director for this film. And this scene is towards the end of the movie. Pretty much me and everybody else who saw it just completely scared the piss out of them and put chills down my spine. And still to this day, if I watch this film, I'm probably going to not watch this final scene. But that's what I'm confident about, that these awards that we're going to make today, that you will create those just spine-tingling moments that stick with you for a lifetime. So go check it out. If you're curious, you can go out to YouTube and just search the Blair Witch Project ending scene, and you will see that this moment right here is the most watched in the film. And just look at all the comments. I'm not alone. It pretty much scared the piss out of everybody who watched it. So well done, gentlemen. All right.
Thanks.
Jump me back into our regular format here. Okay, cool. That's it for the intros. Well, at least from me on my intros. We did this interview a few months back to kind of introduce the award, but this will be I want to provide everybody an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you. So if you could just briefly explain to us, your film pedigrees and background as being horror filmmakers.
Jed?
Oh, okay. Well, I've like a lot of the people who entered this competition, I'm a massive horror fan. That's really, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, all I'm thinking about is horror movies, how to make them, how to finance them, how to, take things to the next level.
Yeah, he's a real weirdo.
Yeah, I am a real weirdo. And Ed knows anytime he texts me, I will be awake. So,
crazy.
It doesn't matter. It's because I've got so many horror films to watch. So, I've always been a massive horror fan, and, ultimately, I didn't think it was possible to actually make horror films in the UK, but luckily found a great group of people to, start making short horror films. And this is why I think this is so important, this horror award, because it will give people the opportunity to put their vision on screen, and therefore, we can see what they can do. And then the ultimate aim is to make feature films out of it. So, so I started with short horror films. Went through the festival route and got some hype, and then, as people may know, during the pandemic we made a film called Host, and that really blew up and beyond anything I could even imagine, and that was the thing that kick-started everything really, and why I'm sitting talking to you today, and multiple projects afterwards, including the Blair Witch documentary, which I had so much fun doing, because the Blair Witch Project is, it is, if not the greatest, it's one of the greatest horror films of all time. Certainly in terms of return on investment, and it has, the legacy is just unbelievable. And what people didn't realize was, for the last 25 years, Ed's been sitting on so much extra footage. Like, there's hours upon hours and upon hours of extra footage, original high 8 tapes in the 16mm film, and this new transfer that was made for second sight for the Blu-ray release in November. You know, we had all this amazing looking footage, and then we also had all the behind the scenes stuff as well that's never really properly been shown anywhere. So it only kind of made sense that it was put into a documentary. And, you know, as I'm so au fait with the film and the filmmakers, and, you know, I've been to Burkittsville and hung out there. I literally have a piece of the Blair Witch house right next to me right now.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Ed, you probably don't even have that, I'm guessing. You know, I just I just love the film so much.
I'm not that weird, man.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. Well, you do. Well, I don't know. I've been to your house. I've seen.
Yeah, no,
weird,
yeah. You've seen my background. That's just the beginning. Yeah, no, I'm as weird as anybody else. So.
Exactly. But you know, us weirdos, we've got to stick together and make cool stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so like, you know, the Blair Witch Project was incredibly important to me as a filmmaker, as someone who wants to be a filmmaker, and you know, we use that template to make Host, and you know, so I went a lot. So making the documentary felt a little bit like giving back to Ed and the community and the world. Like, this film should be studied because it is the template of how to make a successful horror film with your friends. And
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, look, Jed doing the documentary was kind of a dream come true. We've had it, like Jed said, we had this footage for so long, and it just we never got around to doing it. And we met Jed after Host, and we loved Host, and he's a good guy. He somehow we get along, and we were working together on some stuff, and he was like, yeah, we might do this documentary, and he's like the perfect guy. But yeah, it was and for me, my background, I like Jed, I was started doing short films, and went to film school, and met the guys that I did Blair Witch with, and got lucky, and we made this movie, and it blew up. And stayed in the indie world for a little while, and then transferred about 11 or 12 years ago into television, and having a good time with TV, even though it's very slow right now. But still, I look forward to getting back on set, and just doing projects. Got a couple projects with Jed that we're excited about, and then this competition that Jed got me involved in. It was just such an honor to read up, and watch some of these, previous short films from these filmmakers. And it's, just really inspirational because it takes you back, to when, you were starting. And we know the problems of, getting started with, just trying to make your mark out there. And, you're trying to make a film, you don't have any money, and, but it seems like these, most of the filmmakers that entered, at least the top 20, they had a really good group of support with them, and a good production team, and they had just great vision, and there's so many great films to choose from, so many great projects, and so we had a hard time finding the two, but I think we did good, and we're looking forward to starting to work with these filmmakers. And this is these kinds of awards are important because there aren't enough of these kinds of, there's not enough support for short films. And for us, part of the reason that we're doing it is, like Jed was saying, is that, hopefully we can turn these shorts into, some kind of feature later on down the road, and, at least help them, or at least give them the first step in their journey to become feature filmmakers. But for us, we're trying to find some talent out here, what I'm saying? And, and then eventually take advantage of them any way we can.
Yeah.
So that's
because
the Hollywood
we'll
way.
be working for them. We'll be working for them one day.
Yeah.
So we need to get into their good graces now.
We're out of ideas. We need to milk. We need to take advantage of some new people. So no, but I'm excited to get to announce and just kind of get the show on the road.
Nice. All right, so before we get to the announcement, let's talk about the process a little bit. So tell us about kind of connecting, working with Decentralized Pictures, and kind of embracing this decentralized model to select at least the finalist, to kind of whittle it down for you guys so that it's a manageable collection of films to make your final selection. Tell us about that process and what the experience is like.
Yeah, the decentralized pictures process, it just makes everything easy, to be honest, because we couldn't possibly read all of the submissions. So we have heavily relied on the community, the DCP community, to peer review everything. And the great thing is they have to. There's certain categories that they have to score, and and give a good review. So we already knew going in what was the most popular, because you ranked it into the top 20. We knew what was the most popular, what was the scariest according to the peer review, what had the most the most originality, etc. So yeah, you guys at DCP have done a lot of the legwork for us, which we really appreciate. But then once we got all the kind of the finalists, it was so difficult. I mean, even now, I think we're still a little bit like, but there's this other one we really want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like Jed was saying, it was just, you guys did most of the work for us, and it was good. And we had like 20 finalists, and just it was really a real pleasure going through all and just seeing, kind of meeting these filmmakers through their work, through their past work, and through their scripts and their pitch packets, and it's I was kind of amazed at how much work some of these people did, pretty much all of them, and and honestly, we could have, any of these films I think would have worked. So again, like Jed said, it was tough finding the two finalists, but like I said before, like these kinds of things are very important, and this organization is important because the odds are so against filmmakers, and any kind of help, any kind of push, any kind of advice or something that can kind of get them out of the just get them to the next level is so appreciated. And and when I was I was making films before the internet, so to have this kind of resource and just kind of would have been so valuable back then. But so I think I'm glad people took advantage of it. We had a lot of entries, and appreciate everybody kind of chiming in and giving us like really good reviews, and just really it's definitely evident that the audience is very educated, and like there are a lot of filmmakers in this group, just giving us their opinions, and it's always appreciated. So again, they did the hard work of watching everything and giving it ratings and stuff, and we appreciate all the time they took to do that.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that, like if you are not one of the winners, but you're one of the finalists, your script was extremely good. It like I said, it was so difficult to whittle it down to 2. I wish there were more slots, but hopefully we get to do this again, maybe on a yearly basis. And I don't want you guys to give up and think like what you submitted wasn't good, because oh my god, there were so many good ones. And like I said, we're really struggling to pick the final 2, because they were all good. But I will say that the ones that we have ultimately picked, they are definitely ones where we feel like there is scope for a feature. They're competent filmmakers who have experience, making quality stuff before, but just haven't been given the opportunity to take to the next level. They've put in all the hard work and graft they can before, but they just needed a little bit of a lift up. And I feel like the 2 winners we have found are in that category.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that is a perfect segue. Gentlemen, I think the time has arrived.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do this thing. Eduardo, are you making the announcement?
No, well.
Or Jed? Paper, rock, scissors?
Maybe you can announce one, and then I can announce one?
Sure. So what we just want to say the project and the filmmaker, or
let's go for it. We've made him wait long enough.
All right. Well, the first winner is a project called Festered, and it's a filmmaker named Mark G. Ross, and we were just really impressed by his vision and his previous work, and congratulations.
Shall I announce the other one now, or shall we?
For it.
Okay, and the other winner, again, is probably the one that I gravitated to first. My instinct was like, this is the one we should definitely do, and I feel like I think we feel the same way. But it's Dana Never Had a Brother by Destiny McCaster. I'm sure, like when we get to speak about it, like we can say just why we loved it so much. But yeah, Destiny, congrats. Hey, Hey, Mark.
my
Hey,
There they
Tiffany.
are. Hey, congratulations, you two.
Congrats, you too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Okay, so big
I don't
breath.
know.
Big
Yeah.
breath. So, how are we feeling right now? Who wants to go first?
I'm speechless, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm equally as kind of flabbergasted. This is crazy. But thank you so much. I was not expecting this. So I'm very, very grateful. Wow,
Yeah.
I've been writing the script, I guess, for like a year, or I had written it in like late 2023, and I've been like revising it over the last year, with my friends and like all of the people that like kind of were in the pitch deck and all of that stuff. So this is like we were kind of just waiting for the gunshot, and so the gunshot's here, and now I'm like,
Yeah. And by the way, this is an example of creating a good deck that like gave us the idea that you could handle this, and you know, it was a really good deck you put in there. So
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's and one thing we were looking for is, you know, again, like we were saying, just, like, we wanted them to have, you know, filmmakers to have a team, and we really appreciate you laying it out. It just seemed like you guys, you know, had everything, you know, because a lot of times, you know, you give awards or you give money to certain filmmakers, and sometimes they, you know, end up not producing anything, and it's just very frustrating for the people that, you know, the other entries and stuff. So we were really confident that, you know, both you guys were going to be able to like pull this off. So we appreciate you laying out the project so well.
Yeah, and we obviously watched your previous stuff as well, because you know, working with you guys will like, I mean, we will help you like the whole way.
Well,
It's good to know that you could help yourself as well, and you don't need, you know.
Yeah, you don't need us.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We were like, all right, these people don't need us. Let's throw the money at them, and then, you know, help them if they whatever, and just kind of stay out of their way. You know, really.
So, Mark G, how you feeling?
No, I'm fine. I'm just speechless. But I just want you to say thank you so much. It's such a hard road to make a movie,
Yeah.
and when I find this initiative was like amazing for me, like an opportunity just to share your work. That sometimes maybe you are scared to share your work because you always find like no's and people that doesn't trust you. But sorry, I'm just very nervous and my English is not the
Oh,
best.
it's good.
So
That's good, man. That's good. No,
So,
that's, you know, yeah, absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, you know, that's you know, we were impressed with like, again, both your guys' previous films, and you know, and the thing is, you take your films and then you read the scripts and you're like, all right, this is going to be cool, you know. And so, you know, we're just looking forward to you know, getting going with you guys, and again, staying out of the way, but assisting you in whatever way, you know, you guys need. But just, you know, just I'm happy to give you guys this opportunity, and I know you're going to blow it out of the water. So
Yeah, you will. And you know, after it's made, you know, as you probably know, it doesn't stop there. We're going to help you take that, sure, put it into festivals, then try and, you know, get some hype around it so we can make it into a feature if that's the way you want to go. Hopefully you do, because we feel like these would really work well as a, you know, a feature. And you know, and like it doesn't hurt having a Coppola as a producer on your project as well. Like, I wish I had that opportunity.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. No, it's a good team, and like Jed said, like, you know, our thing is, you know, if, you know, we're assuming that you guys are eventually going to want to do, you know, features, move into that. So we would love for this to be kind of, you know, one of the steps to, and just, you know, be part of your resume that we kind of helped a little bit at the beginning of your career. So we're looking forward to seeing what you guys do.
It's great just to work with you guys. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. So I don't know if it's going to be a future, but just working with some new people, that's always just a treat. So thank you so much.
The ability to, you know, scare people, I think it's difficult for anyone to do, but you know, these ones, the ones that you've brought to us, I feel like have unique sets of horror. So it's a different type of horror in each one, and I think that's something we wanted to do. We didn't want to just explore one area of horror. We wanted to, really do something different. And I think your two projects are sufficiently different from each other that they don't like clash. So we could really make a fuss over this, and I think it's going to be good. I'm excited to get making this with you guys.
I also wanted to say
Amazing.
I read Mark's when submissions were still going through, and I'm like really happy you're a finalist as well, because I feel like your
Thank you
script
so much.
flew off the page. I could see like every time she turned a corner, and like the how you describe stuff, I could feel it. So congratulations, this is crazy.
Yeah, I saw your pitch deck, and I thought, yeah, she's a winner. Just from the pitch
just from
deck,
the images.
Honestly,
I love it. I love
the
it.
power of the pitch deck. Because it just looks so professional and good. You're already halfway there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and there's a bunch of different styles and kind of subgenres of movies that were brought in, and we decided early in the competition, just talking about forming doing this award, we wanted to do something where we really wanted the movies to be scary, and I think that was like one of the big criteria for us, is like, let's find something that we think is creepy. And both your guys' films, I think, are going to be super creepy. It's rare when you read something and you're kind of creeped out by it so efficiently, so effectively. So congrats to both you guys, because it's you guys deserve this. It's you guys did great work, and can't wait to get in there and see what else you got.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's an honor.
It's wild.
Just to be here. Yeah.
Take it in. Today's a happy day. All right.
Okay,
Congratulations to you both. And again, to what Jed said earlier, if your name was not called today, don't be discouraged by this. There's a lot of other quality projects. There will be more awards at DCP. We are not done. We are just getting started. So please keep those submissions coming. And I know it sounds cliche, but I feel like we truly are making dreams come true at Decentralized Pictures, providing some amazing, amazing opportunities to very deserving filmmakers like you two today. So thank you guys all so much for joining the Decentralized Pictures Talent Cast. If you're not already following us, we're at decentralized.pictures. Check us out. It's free to join. And even if you're not a filmmaker, you can jump on there, create an account, start reviewing projects like Mark G's and Destiny's to select the next winners for future awards. So thanks again, guys. All the best. Celebrate tonight. Today's an awesome day. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congrats, y'all. Great meeting you.
Congratulations.
Thank you again.
Yeah.